Hello and welcome to my channel. It's 2023 and as many of you know, it is marked by the Sasani extraterrestrial race as the beginning of the window of public open ET contact. So very exciting year for us, yay! And just because it is here, sort of this beginning, I wanted to revisit what it means for us, where we are standing right now, what we can see, what you can observe, what we can look for, and maybe answer a few questions that I hear from others. And let's see if we can talk about some of the common fears and issues that people have. So just to begin, let me review quickly what is the public ET open contact window. It was designated between 2023 and 35 approximately, give or take. The future is always fluid, so it can change, it can extend, it can shrink depending on which timeline you are tuning into. For some people it can never happen, for some people it can happen sooner, and so on. So it is always up to your free will what you choose to kind of align with. However, if you are on the timeline where I am right now, then you are probably experiencing what I experienced, and that's basically the beginning of this window, the 2023, which is just kind of starting bleeding into our awareness. Kind of, they are throwing these pieces of information for us, and they are checking how we are going to respond. If we are going to respond fearfully, or if we can work with that and kind of accept it with the curiosity and awareness and maturity that there is possibly more than we were taught. I also want to say that the window is like a decade-long window, and it doesn't mean that in 2023 there will be like ships landing for everybody, you know, in the middle of some capital or so. No, something like that might happen, but much later. I don't know, 5 years going forward. For now, it is just that, just kind of throwing the breadcrumbs and see if we can pick them up. So we will see more UFO sightings. We will have more like personal, like private, let's say, contacts. We can definitely experience much more interactions in our meditations, in our dream state, whenever we basically connect to the astral realm. And then by the end of this window, let's say by the end of 2035 or so, basically there shouldn't be any doubts that this is going on, and all beings on Earth should be fairly familiar with the extraterrestrial races that are visiting Earth, including animals and everything in our society. So I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, just feel free to send me a comment and I can clarify. And yeah, let's take a look at the current situation. So the current state is that it definitely gets much more media attention as well, and politicians are talking about it much more. We can see much more UFO sightings. I will share in the description of this video some of the links. One of them is Jamie Maussan, I hope that I pronounced his name correctly, who shared his beautiful collection of unusual aerial phenomenons that he assumes are UAPs or UFOs, crafts, and most of them just in 2022. And it is very interesting to see like what all kinds of forms they can have. I'm not saying that all of them are like genuine crafts, but there is many of them that are, at least based on my feeling and intuition, and based on my experience as well. I'm talking just about the things that caught my attention, because I'm not looking for those things. They just come to me completely synchronistically, completely by accident, right? There was Paul Hellyer. I apologize if I mispronounced the name, former Defense Minister of Canada, who has publicly shared that he has absolutely no doubt that the extraterrestrials exist. And he says that, in fact, that for anybody who is looking it would be extremely hard to not see it. So he kind of doesn't understand what we are even considering, like why wouldn't they exist with so much evidence that is available if you just start looking for it. There is books, there is people's references, there is people's experiences, there is footage, there is so much. And from all kinds of sources, like millions of recordings every year, and it would be highly unlikely that all of them would be false. And even if just one was genuine, then it would already mean a lot to the entire world. And also, you might notice that even in the mainstream media, we are being gently redirected with our attention to the atmosphere as well. I'm just curious, have you noticed any stories in your news that would just look up? I would be surprised if you didn't, because there was this huge discussion and huge, like, whoa, what is going on around the high surveillance balloon that was supposedly to be Chinese. I don't know how they know that it is Chinese. Maybe it has like a made in China on it, or I don't know. Today everything is made in China. However, there is more of these things definitely popping into our awareness. And I think that today or yesterday also they actually shot down some unidentified flying object somewhere around Alaska, I think. And nobody knows what it really was. And they named it unidentified flying object, even though like it's not like a UFO, they just don't know what it was, basically. And from my feelings, I feel about that they are just trying to see, okay, let's throw this word unidentified flying object into the news and see how people react and how it works, and kind of start gradually bringing it into our attention. So I don't know if China was really spying on somebody, but I feel like there is definitely something bigger going on, and I definitely see where it is sort of pointing. So I'm just kind of observing it, and I'm curious what story they have prepared for us, because they usually tend to make a big drama out of everything, which is something that we are going to discuss later as well as part of the questions. All right, so I think that that's pretty much the situation right now. By the end of 2023, according to Sasani, if we start looking, we should see so many UFOs that it will be like, okay, there is another one. It won't be even a surprise anymore. They will not land, but we will definitely know about them. That's the idea for this year, for this topic. And of course, it brings a lot of questions, right? Because you will need to start incorporating into your belief system, because if you thought that aliens are not real, and your entire world was built on that idea, that there is nothing going on besides Earth, then you might need to stretch that. And the sooner you start working on stretching this idea, the easier it's gonna be for you to assimilate that, so it's not just a shock, right? So let's take a look at some of the most obvious questions that people ask. And probably the first one, that is the most obvious one, is, are the ET hostile? Should we be afraid of an intergalactic war or any invasion or anything like that? And even though this is like a hard answer to say yes or no, I mean, you cannot say yes or no, I can share that I'm not afraid at all that something like that would happen if you stay positive. Of course, if we start shooting down every single UFO that shows up, then we can provoke, let's say, a response for that, but none of them is aggressive. Otherwise, you would see that already. And yes, you may probably hear about some other videos of some other people who say that they have experience with like a secret space program, and that they encounter like hostile ETs. So let me answer this way. Are there ETs who are hostile? Yes, absolutely yes. Are there ETs who are benevolent and loving and friendly? Yes, absolutely yes. So just like people, right? We are dealing with civilizations. We are dealing with other races and entire species. So you can look at it as if you were an extraterrestrial looking at Earth and humans as your own ET species, and then you would look at what is going on in Ukraine and you would make assumptions based on that. Oh my god, the humans are killing like each other and they are like blowing up the things that they built, like why are they doing that, and they are destroying the Earth there and I don't know what. And then you would just completely judge and blame the entire planet for what is going on in that regard. And in majority, I dare to say that for the majority of people, they disagree with those facts. I don't know how many of you are actually agreeing to what's going on in the wars. I personally haven't approved any of the wars. And I don't want to be put into the same bucket as them. They are not a representative of humans, in my opinion. And that's exactly how I like to look at all the other species from the other civilizations. Some of them could be hostile, yeah, but I am not going to judge the entire culture because of what they do. And in fact, the more experience you have by yourself, I dare you to start looking and inviting the benevolent occurrences in your life as well. Because kind of the rule of thumb is that the more healthy the being is, the less they tend to interfere and force you to, let's say, notice them. They are like invite you, but they are not going to lower their vibration so they can be depressed with you, so you can see them. If you are depressed and they are super like excited, it's like vibrational non-match, and you are not going to interact with one another. It's just basically the law of attraction in practice, resonance, physics, action, reaction. It's not going to work. Tuning forks, right? So please be considerate to all those ideas. If they wanted to hurt us, they would probably do so already. And in fact, what they are actually famous for is that they are even disarming our warheads. You can see some videos even on YouTube where you can see like a missile that they are testing, let's say an atomic bomb, and then there is a UFO and it kind of flies around it and lasers into it and disarms the nuclear warhead while it's flying. So they have no interest in any aggression, I would say. Even though that for us it can seem like, oh my god, they are using their military technology to interfere with our technology, and therefore we feel out of control, and then we freak out and it's danger, right? If we cannot control it, then what does it mean? What can it do, right? But think about it kind of logically. Most of them, all of them, are way ahead of us in evolution. Thousands, at least thousands of years ahead of us. Some of them millions of years ahead of us. And if they mastered interstellar traveling, they probably already know how the universe works well enough to understand that we are all interconnected. Most of them. So I'm not afraid of that. And just logically, why would I want to fight them? Like, they have abilities that we are absolutely no match for them. They can teleport from one universe to another in a blink of an eye. They can run in circles around our jets, around our missiles, and disarm them while they are flying. They can read the timelines and the energies much, much, much more than we were ever capable of, and they can avoid the ones that would be harmful for them. So I'm not afraid about like them being hurt by us at all. I think that we do not have the technology that could hurt them. Maybe like the really, really old ones, some of them, like when we shut down some of the UFOs. I think it was one of the Roswell's incidents. I don't know. According to the Sasani, it was one of those like older technologies that basically was much closer to what we would have in the future, which is still very much mechanical. but otherwise they have technology that is like way superior of us. So I don't want to fight them. If they wanted, they could just blow us off the planet. But they say actually that that is not what makes us powerful, that we have this technology that could blow you off. What makes us powerful is that we would never ever use it. That's the mindset that they are using. It's completely different from us. We think that the more you are destructive, the more powerful you are, and they see it the other way around. The more creative you are, the more powerful you are. So that's kind of my advice. You don't need to be afraid of them. If there is any fear involved at all, it's more like from the humans, like what craziness they can come up with, and with how much drama they are going to introduce the ETs. All right. The second thing is, are the ETs spying on us? I feel like my privacy is being invaded, right? This is a really sensitive one. And it's a sensitive topic because I know how much people love their privacy. And unfortunately for me, the experience is that there is no such thing as a privacy really in the universe once you understand how it works. If you ever heard about a thing called Akashic Records, then it's like a nervous system of the consciousness where everything that happens to anybody at any time, anywhere, is sort of recorded as an experience, as a vibration that can be accessed by anybody who is a vibrational match for it. That's how teleportation works, because everything is here and now all the time, according to them again. That's how channeling works. You become a vibrational match for the information that is already present for you and available for you. That's how predictions work, because you can tune in to the timelines that are in the future just by imagining it and just by kind of attuning yourself to it. And then it becomes available and accessible for you, and you can learn from the future. It's amazing. So this is a big one for us, because so many people, and including some light workers, they have this idea of awakening and yeah and everything, but I'm still gonna keep my secrets, because this is my shit and nobody should know about that. And that is, from my perspective, a big trap. If somebody is still trying to rely on the fact that some things will keep hidden. And in fact, what is going on now, if you can see all the things that are kind of screwing up and the systems are crumbling, the people are being exposed to doing very, very ugly things. It is basically what always has been there, but was hidden, now is coming to the light and surface, and so we can see it, and so we can address it and heal it. And we can expect that on a personal level sooner or later as well. Are we gonna like it? Depends on you. I personally really advise to live your life in a way that, okay, you don't need to share everything, and I don't advise to share everything. Just discern what other people need to know and share that. However, for all the other things that you, let's say, wouldn't share by yourself, live your life in a way that even if it leaks, even if somebody finds out, then it will not be a problem for you. You can say, yes, busted, that's me, yeah, I wouldn't share that, but now you know, so yeah, that's me. And that's where I'm trying to get, for example, because the extraterrestrials and spirit generally has the ability to observe, and not only observe, but also to record the history and read it. Even like I was speaking about the Akashic records, so maybe even like kind of channel the Akashic records for you to something that you can visually see. And it was one of the things that Bashar said that will be given to humanity as a gift. Once the ET land, they will actually give us a recording of the history that we missed, that we don't remember. So there will be sort of proofs of the history, and it will fill in the blanks, how the humans have been created, how how some of the tragedies happened, and so on. So it will shed a lot of light but we will need to be a lot more flexible to be able to assimilate that information. And what a better way than just practicing accepting the current evidence that we are already seeing, right? There is still one thing that I'm not sure about, and that's how this is gonna work together with, let's say, our encryption and security in terms of passwords. I think that we will still probably do our best to keep those private, but just by definition, if it is in your consciousness, it is in the consciousness already. So theoretically, somebody can access it if they become a vibrational match. Luckily for you, it would need to be relevant for the person, so the person can become a vibrational match for it. It's not just like you can read anything you want. It's more like your soul has chosen that you have 2 legs and 2 arms, so you are not going to tune into having 3 legs and 3 arms. So in a similar way, you can probably trust that your higher self wouldn't let you to, let's say, access things that are completely useless for you, or that doesn't serve you in any way or anybody else. So I'm, again, not concerned about that too much. I'm just mentioning that as a kind of logical question that came to my mind as part of that topic as well. But I would say even now we don't have our passwords safe anymore, because with the quantum computing, it becomes less and less complicated to crack the encryption algorithms that we have right now. So there will need to come big changes in that direction too. And ironically, I'm pretty sure that the ETs already have this covered. So they could inspire us and give us some ideas how they solve this, for example. Yeah. So if you have any more questions about this, feel free to let me know in the comments. And yeah, now the question number 3, and this is going to be the last one that I'm going to cover in this video, is how can I prepare for what is coming? And the advice number 1 is just don't be ignorant, don't be blind, don't put a bucket on your head. And just, if you are presented an evidence or experience of somebody else that they are saying this is possible, that they have experience with that and so on, and there is so many people who have, just like the former defense minister of Canada has said, that once you start looking into it, it is extremely hard to not see it. Then just try to start accepting that into your system as a possibility, and start stretching your belief system, because we have, of course, religions, we have other belief system. The science is based on trust and axioms that we thought are set and given, and once the ETs will start popping from the different dimensions, there will be absolutely no doubt that there is something bigger that we are missing in our physics as well. And therefore, what we thought is like a complete set of physics will be just a small fraction of it suddenly. And we will have to expand and zoom out, and we will find out that all the axioms that we have are just a small approximation, or are very, very incomplete set of how it actually works. So start thinking about it. What if it is true? What would that mean? And how can I be in peace with that? Then the next idea is be willing to retrospect and start working on healing the root causes of your wounds. That is a big one, because we tend to give up our power to somebody else and just listen to, okay, dear doctor, I have this problem, what should I do? And then the doctor looks at the book, they told me at school that this should work, and they give that to you and you do that. So instead of that, we need to start looking at our system more holistically, because mental health, emotional health, even your belief system and spiritual work is a vital component of that. Once the ETs start landing, you will be sort of forced to admit that there can be a non-physical, something non-physical, because otherwise where would they be if we didn't see them and suddenly they are here? And they keep talking about energy all the time. So it will be just completely in your face. So we will need to start addressing the root causes and look at people more individually rather than finding one solution for all. And every single person has slightly different root causes. So trust your heart and follow the formula, the Sasani formula, which is the follow your highest joy and passion to your best ability till you can take it no further, with absolutely zero assumption or insistence what the outcome should be. And no matter what happens, choose to interpret things positively. And that is going to give you everything that you need to heal what you need to heal, to rise your vibration, to get to the information you need to get to meet the people you need to meet, and so on. If you don't understand what this formula is, or you want to explore it deeper, I have a workshop just for that. It is about 3 hours deep dive just into this. So I will share the link into the description as well. Now, I was saying that you should start stretching your belief system, and especially if you are in that category of I won't believe it until I see it. I think that you are setting up yourself for a trap, because it is, the more you are in the denial, the more you are keeping yourself in the lower vibrations. And if you are not getting ready, then your system is not gonna expect it, right? And when something unexpected comes, it comes as a shock. So the moment they show up in front of you physically, so you can see them, it will be such a shock that you can have a heart attack, or it can be very painful and totally stressful, and they can literally scare the shit out of you. And I mean it very lovingly, because they have tried that, and that's one of the reasons why they still didn't contact us, because we are not, most of us are not ready. And it's for the simple reason, for us it's such a strange vibration, such a strange experience, that our physical body would interpret their presence as a predator who wants to eat us. Something unknown, something strange, dangerous. Even though they mean absolutely no harm, you would totally feel scared. And that's what happens to many people who start having their first experience in their meditation, that they are scared. So what I advise is accept it as a possibility in the first place, and then learn from those who know how to work with them. Take advantage of your dream state, or meditation, or any technique that can bring you to the astral realm, whether it's astral projection, or hypnotherapy, or lucid dreaming, or astral traveling, anything that works. Some people use plant medicines for that as well. So find something that works for you. The dream state is like a very non-invasive thing, because you have to sleep anyway every day. At least if you want to be healthy for now. So you can set an intention at night that, okay, I want to meet the benevolent extraterrestrials in my dreams, tonight in my dreams. And I want to remember that as well when I wake up in the morning. And in the beginning, it might be like a lot of nonsense, or it might be a lot of like purging dreams. Purging dreams are more like those which are healing something that is out of alignment. That doesn't make much sense, but eventually you might start seeing those dreams which feel like you are at school and coming in a school bus, and maybe the school bus sort of flies or something, which is basically just translation of your physical mind using the 3D concepts that it is familiar with of what happened in the astral realm. But the more you do it, the more you will remember the actual experience. And it is one of the probably smoothest ways how you can actually attune your system to this vibration of the extraterrestrials and open up to the possibilities. You know that in the dream state you are basically invincible. You cannot die there. That's where you are really in touch with your spirit, and even I don't know, I have memories where I was eaten by crocodile, for example. So I know that I don't die even when that happens. So it's a very safe way to approach this. All right, so I think that you get the point. You know, there is a lot of work ahead of us, and I'm just observing, kind of expecting what is going to happen, how it's going to unfold, and what story they are going to offer to us. And yeah, the more you also project your, let's say, intention of choosing the right timelines, the more you can also influence that as well. Visualization is the key. It's the visualization, your imagination is literally your tuner of the frequency that is choosing the timelines. So use that as much as you can. Train it, practice it. That's my advice. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will be happy to answer as much as I can. Take care, enjoy the year 2023. Have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.